in Amity Law School, Noida, having a conversation with our director, Major General Nirendra Kumar, about legal education, about Amity Law School, Noida, and all the work and the achievements that has been done in our college. So I will introduce firstly my colleagues, Dr. Kavita Surbi and Dr. Anirudh Vashisht, who will be including us in this conversation with our director. So we'll start with Dr. Kavita Surbi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Okay. Sir, before joining Amity, you were a JAG for over 8 years. What was your motivation at that point in the time to join Amity?
You see, I had served in army for over 40 years, and I had never thought that one day I would be in any way connected either with Amity or with legal education. It was a chance meeting with the founder, President Ashok K. Chauhan, where suddenly he asked me to take over the Amity Law School, and I just said yes. I had not given a thought. And the next thing I knew that the very next day I was in the Amity Law School as the director. So it came to me as a surprise, it came to me as a challenge, and since it was something entirely new, unexpected, I took it, accepted it.
You joined in 1996?
I joined in 2008, I think 29th of August.
Okay.
So, you joined at a time when Amity Law School was going through tough times. Do you recall some of the challenges you faced then?
Yes. I do not know whether to call it a challenge, but when I joined Amity Law School, there was no director. The previous director had left. There was a deputy director, and there were two senior officials from Amity. There was Dr. D.V. Singh and Dr. H.S.P. Singh, who were both non-law persons. They had never been law academics, but they were sent by the management. We had a batch of students who were initially given admission when they were with the Amity was with the Chaudhry Charan Singh University, and there was a later batch that had been recruited under the Amity University. And I found that there was lack of motivation, teamwork on the part of the faculty. The faculty was relatively young, and I also found that the students, they needed guidance. There was lack of leadership to show them the correct direction and to get best out of the students. So this, when I reflect, was the position when I joined the ALS.
Can you give us some examples of the initial measures you had taken, which were like successful in the long run?
Can you name them?
When I look back, I found that there were absolutely no guest lectures. So we needed some eminent jurists or judges so that they could come and articulate their vision. Also to make a brand of Amity, the participation of students in legal aid was almost non-existent. There was no clinical legal education, it was absent. And also I found that the participation even in moods was almost non-existent. So this was the situation when I look at that point of time.
What do you mean when you say Amity provides clinical legal education?
Yes, this is something which is very dear to my heart. Legal education is meant for application of law. because law is a remedy for and a solution for number of problems, difficulties which a group of individuals, which society, a nation, class of people face. Therefore, the knowledge of statutes and procedures which we to the students in classroom. The students should be equipped, they have to be trained and educated to apply that knowledge. Application of legal knowledge is what is clinical education.
Can we say it is like medical profession where doctor needs to
Exactly. The legal education is no different than, say, medical education or architecture or engineering, where what is taught in the classroom is ultimately to be applied and practiced.
So, sir, the measures and the innovations you brought to Amity, all these you didn't, I mean, how did it come to you? These were something, you were not, didn't have any formal training,
Yes, I must admit that my deficiency, and in fact it was my strong point, was that I did not have any baggage of a prior academic experience. I had never taught in a formal institution for any length of time. So when I came, I realized that if I have to earn the respect and I have to make a position for myself, then I must teach. Then I said to myself, who do I teach? What do I teach? So I said, if I have to get the control, earn the respect of the institution, I must teach the senior most students. So at that point of time, it was odd semester. I joined in the month of August. So I said, let me go and get hold of the 9th semester students. I called for the syllabus. I looked out of the 6 subjects that were there, or 5 subjects, I chose law, poverty and development because I thought, let me take this, and also because there was reluctance on the part of other faculty to teach this subject because there was no book on law, poverty and development. So decided that I must take the lead and such an example by teaching myself, because initially I went on some of the classes when other faculty used to teach, and I thought that if I point out mistakes, give suggestions with a view to improve, well, faculty may say, even if not on my face and behind me, it's very easy to give example or a son, do it yourself. So I have to teach, I have to earn the respect of the students, because respect is something that is earned, it is not demanded, it cannot be commanded. Okay.
So your style of management would be you lead by example, basically.
Yes, in this case it was leading by example.
But it was different. Earlier you were like managing the art, and now you are with intellectual. How was it difficult to manage the?
Let me tell you that it is that army and intelligence doesn't coexist. It is not that way. And I was the head of the branch. I belonged to the legal set of the army, and I was its head for almost 8 years. It was different in a number of ways, because the students, it was a large body of boys and girls in the age group of 19 to 25, 26 with whom I was dealing. I had not dealt with such a large number of young people in my life earlier, and they were bright. So they needed to be shown a direction. If you earn their respect, their confidence, their love, affection, then after all they have come here, their parents in this case, because in India education is financed by the parents, they have sent here for quality education. So that was my purpose.
What according to is the role of the motivation for the student?
Motivation is very much needed. Why? It is needed, it's required, because the students, they are at a very impressionable age. They look for heroes in real life. They look for mentors. they have come here for legal education which is technical. At class 2 level, they do not know what's law of contract, what is taught or legal method, and suddenly they come to a school and they are told bare act or a case law, a citation. So they need a proper guidance, coaching. In that way, motivation by way of reward, award, appreciation, it helps a great deal.
So when you look at where Amity Law School was initially when you joined in, and now after 5 or 6 years I've been here, and we have a list of all the innovative practices you have shared, at least there are more than 50 innovations you have brought in Amity Law School, which is really awesome. What do you think makes Amity Law School Noida different from any other law schools? What is the USP of Amity Law School Noida?
USP, I would say, is number one, the slogan that the students, they picked up. They loved it, that we are second to none. And this was not merely a rhetoric by giving them a slogan or a message, in inculcating belief in them that whether it is clinical legal education, whether it is academics, whether it is cultural activity, whether it is the sports field, whether it is huge range of internship, the actual legal aid clinics got to come out as winner in all these fields. And this, I would say, is the USP.
The conflicts of the students.
Yes. To make believe that they can do it. Yes.
So, do you think you are successfully led the law school among the partners?
Well, we have a great deal ahead, but there is still huge area to cover. And like, say, for example, legal entrepreneurship is something which has huge potential. Mock trials we have started in the last semester, and we found a great support interest amongst the student community for mock trial, because this is where you actually sharpen your wits in advocacy at a trial court. We need greater cooperation at the international level, and I would be very happy if the faculty, they also acquire a specialization. They emerge as experts in their chosen areas of legal studies. So this is yet to be done.
Well, you must a role model for many students and faculty. Tell me something about your role model. Who are
Yes, in military we read about military leaders, great generals, whether it is Montgomery, whether it is Romeo, whether it is Shivaji. That's always done. And because military is the highest form of leadership, where a leader leads his men, the soldiers who are his colleagues in battle, where they may have to lay down their life. No other leader does this sort of thing. I felt that prior to joining ALS, I had edited this book on Nani Palkhiwala. And though I have enormous respect and admiration for Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, but I thought that Nani Palkhiwala is closer to the students' community in law field as a role model. How a person belonging to lower middle class, with all deficiencies, difficulties, can emerge as the topmost lawyer of the country, a constitutional expert, a corporate visionary, a social reformer, a great writer. So therefore, role model, yes. And later on, when I started the concept of and introduced the concept of amity based on constitutional law, so I chose the prize on 4 all-time greats in the Indian legal arena. That was Palkira, it was Balasaheb Ambedkar, Justice H.R. Khanna, and Mr. H.Y. Sirvai. And it was done primarily to tell the students about these great legal giants that he has produced, and they could be taken as role models.
And you mentioned the book you wrote about Mani Bhavana.
Yes.
There are a lot of more books you have written, isn't more books, and one recently which has come out. Can you tell me about the books you have written?
I'm interested in writing right from my school days. I was the magazine editor of my school college level. Then when I went to National Defence Academy and Military Academy, I was the editor of the Academy Journal. And from my family background, my parents, my grandparents also on the paternal side, they all loved literature, they all wrote. So this is when something which is in my blood. And when the first book I wrote, when I had just changed over from artillery to the legal branch of the army, we call it the Judge Advocate General's Department. And I felt there is a need to compile the rulings given the higher judiciary on different aspects relating to the military. And that's the first book that I wrote around 1988. And then, one led to another, and I reached there of a dozen plus books that I authored or co-authored. Some, in one or two cases, my wife or daughter, my son, or I have edited. So there are always ideas, there's always a desire in the mind to do few more books.
Are certain aims, objectives which are for you still active?
Can you just say that what exactly means?
Are certain aims and objectives which you have? Which are
Yes, I tell my students often that person must always evolve. You have to always compete against yourself. Therefore, it is important that you should have a dream. You should have as your own very personal objective. You can change it, but you change it often. And look at it every day. That makes you think that have you traversed something, have you sort of moving in that direction to achieve the aim. And yes, I have aims, objectives, things like I just said. You asked, I said yes, I'd like to do few books more relating to different areas. Perhaps I would like to write some fiction if I have little more time. And while I'm with ALS, I would like to the institution to excel further, so that in more areas it is second to none.
Where would you like to see Amity Law School after 5 years?
I would like Amity after 5 years that by the second year of the 5-year integrated course, the mentors are able to tell the student, and each student has a fair amount of idea what he would like to become, what he would like to do. I would want a great improvement further in clinical legal education. I would want the post-graduation to come up in more areas of specialized laws. I would want few centers of excellence within Amity and tie up with international schools of repute, so that we have regular joint research, joint publications, exchanges with the students, and the Amity Law School faculty being called upon to carry out international and national consultancy. Yes.
We would like to know about the mentor system that we Amity Law School Noida.
Yeah. For that, I would like to give credit to our founder president here. It was that at the university level, almost in all universities, there is no system of a class teacher. When you reach a university, there is no class teacher. But the concept of mentor is very, very useful because this is a connection which a student has with the faculty. The mentor does not change. And a mentor, whether he is teaching the student or not, is somewhere as a guide, as a friend, as somebody to whom student can look up to with regard to any problems, whether it of adjustment in university life, whether he lacks a consultation to decide whether I should intern here or there, whether I should write an article on this topic, or he is having a problem of any nature. So mentors can play a very important role, and also the mentors would have the satisfaction that they have really nurtured, guided, and led those students to meaningful positions in life.
So would you say that you had some mentors yourself in the legal profession or in the army? Kind of somebody who has guided you in your career?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that the military life is along a hierarchy. There is always somebody junior to and there is always somebody senior until one becomes the army chief. So therefore, I've had seniors, and some of those seniors, they inculcated very good habits, examples they gave, and which one could pick up. I'll just tell you one example. When I used to go for trials, conduct trials, which is called court martial. Now, very often the court martials prolonged like civil litigation. But one of my superiors, he said that he expected each day minimum 10 pages A4 size paper, 10 pages of evidence. He says if you've recorded another thing, adjournment or incidental, well, that's not good enough. The trial must move on. There is an accused or there are accused persons waiting for their matter to come to an end. So therefore, he said that if you have not recorded 10 pages evidence, then you have not done your day's job. Now, this sort of education which I got, how to read, how to be brief, how to prepare a charge sheet. So when I became a little senior in army, I made it a point that even while I was in office, I used to have a blackboard, and once a week I will ask my students, my officers, they were not my students, my officers, colleagues, I will say you will stand up and speak for 5 minutes on any topic which you like. And then any of us ask you a question. It was that we were a legal advisors. So they were required to render advice to the formation commanders, to the senior commanders. You may have hesitation, you may be shy of speaking. How will you give advice if you are shy? So if you cannot speak amongst your peers, how will you go and speak outside? So I made it a compulsory. Initially there was hesitation, there was reservation. People wanted to get rid of this, but I insisted. And now those my colleagues of decades back, when they meet me and then they say that that practice which you instituted, then we did not like it, we hated that, but we have really improved because of that.
And I think you are able to transpose this in the law department, legal profession in Amity Law School, Noida.
I would want, yes, that's what I would want. And
With the FDP
yes,
and
the FDP areas,
yes.
that every human being is a very distinct creature of the nature, and you have your own attributes, you have your own likes, dislikes, special features, and former President Dr. Kalam has said that a good person, or all of us, should create centers of excellence around us. So maybe Anirudh is something very good at a particular thing, or Moksha can do wonderful in a different area, and so is Kavita. It is for you to identify what is your interest, what you like, what would you prefer, and then sky is the limit. Go ahead, do that.
Sir,
Yes.
what is the role of sports and curriculum activities in your law school?
You see, the law curriculum is designed in such a way that you do not have to study very, very hard or burn the midnight oil. That's not needed except for those who are the top CGP types. A normal person, if he is attentive in the class and attends classes regularly, studies during the exam, should be able to get around 6.5. But what is important in legal profession is all-round development. Now, all-round development means evolving the human personality, and in that sports, one, they take your mind away from legal studies, they break the monotony, and that is for the individual games. And collective game, where there is a team effort, say basketball or a cricket or a football, to learn to work as a team, collective. So very often, as a senior lawyer, an advocate, or as an academic, or as the corporate law, you will have to take the collective efforts to turn excellence and to achieve the results, and that's where the sports and games can play a very useful part.
Sir, if you have to give an opportunity to rate a law school, how will you rate the law school? Like on teaching ground, on faculty, on how old the law is, or like the placements they are providing? How will you rate the law school? And where will you put amity law in that rating?
You see, there are some of these magazines like Outlook, Newsweek, India Today. They in our country carry out the ranking and the certain parameters. That is one way. The second ranking is by the educational learning institutes like UGC or NAC. That's the other area. The third is this Law Teachers Day, which is organized by the Society of Indian Law Firms and the Menon Institute of the Advocacy Training. So it could be a combination of one or more of these different scaling modalities. What can be done is certainly ultimately it is an institution is known by the student it produces. Student faculty is good, institution is good because the students who are the product of that are good. There's no point that you may have brilliant faculty but the students are mediocre. So therefore, it is the placement, it is the quality of publication, it is the quality of consultancy by the faculty, research, innovation, the internship, of course infrastructure, library, these are also useful that can be used as different parameters of a scale to gauge the standard of a law.
So out of these criteria that you have given, how will you place Amity Law School out of them? How much mark
Out of
will you give?
this stage, I would say we are somewhere between 7 and 8, but to move it from wherever we are 7 from 8 to would require great effort. Difference.
More you sit with law school students, you judge the law school by the student. What are the qualities you want to instill in every ALS student? So it's clear that you want good leadership skills, I think.
I would advise my students, number one, to have clarity of thought. That's one thing. They should be decent human beings. I do not want to produce crooks or criminals. So that is what I mean as a decent human being. You should have clarity. Number three, it is important, it is significant that the students develop good communication skill. The professional, irrespective of what he is doing, he has to reach out to his client or to a judge or as a teacher to the students. And this reaching out is by way of communication or writing. So a student has to be very good in communication skill. He has to have clarity of thought. He should be able to understand what is the legal issue. So when I ask my students to write a project, I ask them, okay, what are the facts of the case? What were the legal issues involved, questions raised? And on those questions, what were the rival contentions? And finally, what is the law laid down? So, the communication skill, clarity of thought, clinical legal education, these are very important during the curriculum and training at the law school.
If a student wants to enter into a legal field, how will he judge himself and whether he is good for this field or not? Are there some criteria like he should be a good communicator, he should be a good
Yes,
lawyer?
as I just said, that one has to be a decent human being. Otherwise, every criminal would become a lawyer. It's not needed. So you got to be a decent human being. You got to have clarity of thought. You have to be good in communication skill. And you have to be prepared to do hard work in case you want to succeed.
Sir, like in India, some of the students, they are from the government schools, their communication skills may not be that of that level. So,
Communication skill, I mean that one should be able to convey in least time, in minimum time, what he wants to say, either by word of mouth or from a paper. This can, nobody is a born communicator. This can come with practice by watching the seniors, by observing guidance and training from the faculty and from the peers. The students can acquire this.
like I'm law school, it provides education in English medium. So somebody from Hindi medium, how you convert that one into a good communication in English?
Let me tell you that all along I studied in Hindi medium schools, although I was the only student at government school in Sitapur or RRD College in Sitapur. Sitapur is a place close to Lucknow where I studied for 4 years, where I wrote in English, but the teaching was in Hindi. Then when I went to Civil Defense Academy, well, my English pronunciation and English knowledge was I was not used to speaking Hindi. So one picked it up. What can be done is for the student to make an effort, and it is important for the faculty and the mentor to help student who's come from an environment where he was not used to speaking English. Do not make fun of him, encourage him, be patient, help him come out if he is struggling with a particular word. Tolerate even if he speaks a sentence or words in Hindi or in Punjabi or any other language. So with the support and encouragement, definitely the student would.
That you like to improve and change for the better?
Well, I have already in earlier indicated my mind in this regard. I would want the larger part of education dispensation should be by information technology, which doesn't happen to the extent now. That is why I find that the IT society, I gave the credit of the day to Aziz Sharma, because IT society, the website, ALS group, this can play a very motivating and a positive role to keep the students together, to move them together and to move them in a particular direction of universal improvement. Now, therefore, in response to your question, I would like to say I would want IT infrastructure to be better. I would want students and the staff, the faculty to make more use of information technology, the search engines, the e-journal. I'll be happy if there is a better publication by the faculty, the different modes of clinical legal education, particularly mock trial, legal aid clinics, the rapporteur business, this entrepreneurship, they are further becoming popular. And if this happens, taking care of the national sector and also the international field, very good. There will be nothing to look back.
So you have been in the legal field now for almost 35 years now? You can confirm.
Yes.
Yes. And where do you think legal education, so the legal profession itself is going? Where do you see the future of the legal profession?
With the globalization, the international efforts, India's policy towards WTO, and the advancements in information technology, the hopes and aspirations of the youth per se in the country, I'm very optimistic, and there is no reason for anyone but to look ahead, to look at a bright future. And in that, because of information technology, one is connected to second, who is looking at the third, who is aware of what he is doing, who keeps track of the fifth. So therefore, even if one law school or a class does better, it have a cascading effect on the others. Therefore, I would not be bothered as to my peers at law colleges. If we better, whole community of law schools would improve.
How embarrassing is it from other laws?
For one, we are part of the MIT University, which is part of the RTDF, and we are all aware that our founder president, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, cannot be compared to any other head of an academy because of his dynamic vision, because of his insistence for growth to extent. So when the head of the institution is different, we are different, number one. Second, I'm talking about MIT laws. The different responsibilities, the charter of duties which faculty has, which has been given to them in large number of cases based on their preference. That and the encouragement, the motivation we give to our students. You see, the student comes back and tells me that he or she has won this prize, she attained that position. We immediately have a system that we reach over IT society will give the picture, will write down. We we asked the student, what do you feel were your strong points, or why did you remain second, you did not get first position, what was lacking in you, or what if you had would have done better. Now it is this encouragement, motivation, which incentive, which brings the student up, and the same policy we have for our faculty colleagues. I make it a point to tell the faculty, well done. I congratulate them. And I find that incentive, appreciation, well done, these are very, very strong tools that can motivate a person to do better.
What suddenly happened to a legal field that every second student wants to take admission in law school? Like in previous it was
Yes,
until the
yes.
trend was
Yes,
CA and law.
I suppose that slowly and not slowly, that in the passage of time, the community, and by community and India as a country, has come to know the different the scope and the major scope which is available for the students who have the law degree, and therefore the growing interest in legal profession. And also because the engineering field and the management field have become almost saturated. This was a new area which found interest amongst the takers.
So earlier, the Bar Council of India, they do not have any test for giving license for the advocate. Now they are conducting a test. If you want to enroll with the Bar Council of India, there is a test. So what is the main objective behind that conduction of that test?
I would say that the Bar Council had attracted lot of criticism. It was felt that the BCI as a body had not been truly conscious and concerned about the standard of legal education. And also, there used to be adverse comments from the judiciary about the standard of the bar. And therefore, the last few years, the Bar Council as a collective body thought that to improve, let there be some screening, let there be some test, it would induce, it would make the law students who have not got the desired potential in them to study because they want to make a career, they have to get the enrollment, therefore they would improve. And to that extent, the knowledge content amongst the entrants to legal profession would be better. And that's why I think this All India Bar examination system was started.
Do you think there need to be reform in the legal profession or the legal education from experience?
Yes, legal education needs number of areas where it needs improvement. There is a need for a network of the law schools. The private education providers like AMI could serve as a model, and there could be pooling of resources. We should need to reach out to the law corporates, to the in-house sponsors, to the bench, that please operate, because ultimately it is these students who would be your colleagues, junior colleagues tomorrow. So if you want to grow, it's better that the power which would be given to you should be qualitatively better. And therefore, these stakeholders for to legal education, they have come to realize they have a sense of duty for betterment, improvement of legal education.
So we heard that your book Law, Mobility and Development. There was some story in writing that book. Like there is no book on that. So is it true? We would like to know about that.
Yeah, all 3 books in fact that I wrote in last 4.5 years after I joined Amity. I was driven to write those books because I found absence. Law poverty development, I've already said that I took up teaching of law poverty development for the 9th semester. There was no book in the library, no book in the market. So I said, let me write one. That would be there. It would help the students. It would help me also in teaching, because we have this practice in Amity to upload the syllabus to the Amazon. So I did that. And then clinical legal education, because I made internship wide range, internship compulsory for the students both during summer and summer and winter breaks. The students often you come to me and in all innocence they say, sir, what do you do in a prison? What will we do at Human Rights Commission or at a police station or in a bank? And even faculty in most cases was not able to guide them as to what will they do in a law library. So I said, I'm asking him to go to a prison or to a district court or to a registrar's office, and he doesn't know what he is expected to do. So he'll go there and come back. So let me tell him. And that's why I wrote this book, Clinical Legal Education. And the third book that I have written now, that was again due to the fact that the UGC and the AICTE took a decision that the law capsule must be there for the BTech and MBA classes. And for the management and engineering studies, there was no book. So I said, well, let me make a beginning. And that tomorrow maybe there would be a better book. At least there is one now.
Is there any other book you would wish you would write? Any other topic have in mind?
Yes, there are a number of topics. I've been wanting to do a book on interpretation of statutes for quite some time. I've been wanting a book on legal writing. There are a few interesting marshals and trials. I want to do a book. Well, there's a huge area, books, the area of social sciences. I don't know.
So on a personal note, if you would like to be remembered one day for one thing, what is that thing?
Just like to be remembered, I love my law school and I love my law students. My students, that's all.
And your faculty?
Of course, when I said law school, it will include the faculty. I love my faculty also. Thank you very much. It's been great talking to you.
It was a pleasure.
I have to be as frank, and I don't know whether I've answered all your questions the way you wanted or what you had in mind, but I've tried my best. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.